So welcome back to the D1 Coaches Pod, when we break down the realities of college athletics for families and athletes to make informed decisions and to have a little bit more clarity in the recruiting process and what college athletics is. Today, we're very excited for two things. One is our anniversary. 1 year of the pod. This has been great. We've had so much fun with all of you. And two, we have a really cool guest today. Besides being a stud in college, played overseas, and now he now is like one of the radio show main people for men's basketball at TCU, and he's my brother-in-law. So we're really happy to have Carlino here. Matt, thanks for coming. Thanks for being with us. We're very excited to have you. Finally.
Yeah, a year anniversary. That's gone really quick. Yeah. I feel like it just started. That's awesome.
It's so cool. It's so cool. And then, so
it's been a fun process. And so he played basketball.
Yes, he played basketball.
Everything that you mentioned was in basketball.
Sorry.
You did.
Because I see him like my brother-in-law, you know?
I know.
And
it's the most important thing.
Yeah. And we've come a long ways, Matt.
We have come a long way.
Yeah. Remember in the beginning you didn't approve of Majo dating me? You were trying to tell him not to date me.
I was skeptical. I mean,
oh, come on, I'm harmless. Look at me, man.
Yeah, no, harmless to say the least. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank God for your wife.
It's okay. He was looking after me.
That was on my side.
I'm very protective.
Yeah.
I'm very protective.
Matt is very protective. I'm grateful about that.
But it's been great now.
Yeah, we get along pretty well. You like me now, right?
I do.
Good. Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. So Matt has a really cool story. He was recruited really young in high school. He's from Arizona. He could have stayed in Arizona and had like really good opportunities there. But then, you decided to go to UCLA, right? Played UCLA, BYU, Marquette, played Italy, France. Met the love of your life at TCU, being at GA, right? You were like a really good guard, really stood out scoring and gameplay for you. Game plan? How do you say basketball? I'm terrible at basketball, guys.
Playmaker? The playmaker?
Playmaker, yes. Kind of like the setter in volleyball or something.
Yeah, he handled the ball.
He handled the ball.
He was the quarterback of the team.
Yeah, okay, somewhat like that.
Good. And he's so competitive, guys. For COVID, we couldn't get out, right? And we had this quarantine Olympics that we earned points by playing board games, cooking, washing dishes, and we were so competitive getting points on the board that we didn't speak for a couple of hours sometimes because it got pretty intense, right?
Yeah, early in the dating though, I had to be very strategic with my competitiveness because you and Mandy are much more competitive, especially with each other. So I picked my spots when I have to care or when I don't care. But yeah, the four of us together is rough.
Yeah, Catan is not a good game for the relationship.
It's not a family game. Catan is not a family game.
No, it's not.
It's brutal.
Brutal.
Okay, so we got out of the way that competitiveness is a very common trait amongst good athletes or top athletes or whatever. College athletes, professional athletes, would you say?
Yeah, I would say you can't make it to that level without having a little bit of crazy competitiveness to you. And you see that across the board. I've never come across someone, even if they act chill, when you go between the lines, there's just something else that comes out, even if it's a board game, that you can't explain. I've never seen anyone play at that type of level that's not like that.
Yeah, because being competitive doesn't mean that you're going crazy and you look like aggressive and that. It's like you having a game plan in there and you're strategically, wanting to win and
just hating to lose even more. Yeah, true. Wanting to win.
Yeah, but losing is brutal, guys.
Yeah. I remember they did a study back in the day where they took I think it was swimming. They took the top 100 swimmers in the world. Might have been track, but I think it was swimmers. And most of them love to win more than hating to lose out of the top 100. But out of the top 20, it was like 80% of them hated to lose more than they loved to win. To your point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, for myself, I know it's the hating to lose is way worse.
Yeah, I remember when you lost to Scott, or we lost to Scott in pickleball.
Yeah.
The owner of Match Point Coffee, you weren't happy about that one.
No, I'm still not happy about it.
You saw him today and you're like, we need to play again.
Absolutely. I didn't. That was a tough loss for me. I still haven't gotten over it. I mean, I didn't. Even though Scott's good. I mean, he's good. But
He's a tennis player.
Yeah, I know. But
doesn't
I felt
matter.
like I had you on my team, and Devin. I mean, I don't even know Devin that well, and he'll probably watch this. But Devin's annoying to play against because he's like feisty, and he wants every point.
No, both of them too are going.
We're very competitive.
Yeah.
We're like brothers.
And I was getting kind of in between it where I'm like, I really want this now more. And Scott's over there, so nice, which nice people always make you a little bit more upset when you lose to them because they're like, oh, yeah, like if I would have won or lost, it'd be nothing. And you're like,
No, but trust me, we know Scott. He doesn't like to lose.
He doesn't
either.
like to lose.
well, he fakes it really well.
Yeah,
he
because
does.
he's
He does.
so nice.
Yeah,
He
he's
does.
So
he's
nice.
He's
really
got that nice hair,
Nice.
that silver fox look.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No. Anyway, so all right, so competitiveness. Keep going, Majo. Talk to him. Ask him about his college. Oh, let me. I'll start with the college because you played 2009, 10, 11, somewhere in there.
Yeah, 2011 to 2015.
That's right. You were a freshman in 2011.
Yeah.
And this is pre-portal.
Yes.
Pre-portal, so different times
Very
than
different.
it is today. But you did transfer
pre-June
twice, which
15.
that was not very normal to transfer twice. So tell us about that. You started UCLA, then you soon transferred to BYU,
Yeah.
and then Marquette.
I think that was the biggest difference in my transferring is I only played at two schools. So I went to UCLA and I was from Arizona. I had spent time in Indiana before that and went to UCLA because Coach Howland, went to 2 Final Fours, amazing coach, was basically calling my house like every day to grad. I ended up graduating early, which is rare too, because now
Yes.
it's like the older you are, the better you are.
Yeah.
So I graduated early, taking summer school every year in high school, just to give myself the opportunity to be able to do that. And then I was committed to Indiana and going to school in Bloomington, Indiana. But Coach Allen's calling my dad every day, like, hey, are we going to get this done? Is he going to come to UCLA? So it was kind of already in the background that I was going to go to UCLA, even though I didn't. It was kind of just between like my dad and him. And I was like, UCLA, I mean, it's hard to pass up. It's closer to home. Ended up going to UCLA and like immediately just being like, this is not a fit culturally. Didn't really like it. Wasn't. So I transferred at the semester my freshman year, which is super rare because it wasn't like a playing time thing. I had gotten hurt, got a concussion early, was supposed to play, but as a freshman, working my way into lineup.
Yeah.
So left there, went to BYU, and had a good career there, but at the end ended up having that grad transfer year. So really I played.
Okay, so you basically played at BYU most of 90% of your eligibility.
Yeah, so I played 2.5 years because I had to sit out a full year, which is different because the portal now you can play right away.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, they made you sit out?
Had to sit out a full year. Also, during that time, you couldn't transfer in conference without having an additional year.
Wow, yeah.
So I had couldn't go to like an Oregon or couldn't go to like all these schools. I was like, man, like I wish that they were on the table. But at that point, the portal was so different. Like there was no portal, like you were saying.
Correct.
So I couldn't stay on the West Coast, could only go, to the other schools. Ended up going to BYU, was recruited by, a bunch of schools after that transfer. But yeah, it was so different back then. I would have had to sit out an additional year if I would have went in the Pac-12.
Yeah. And then we were talking about how early you were recruited because now we can only talk to the high school athletes June 15 going into their junior year. But you were like, how old were you when you were getting all these calls?
Yeah, my case was extremely unique because I actually just saw another podcast on NBA TV. There was a Doc Rivers' son, Austin Rivers. He was talking about the first time he got recruited. And I was first, like, nationally ranked in 6th grade and was ranked #1 player in the country then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And going into like 7th grade, #1, and even into 8th grade, like a top 5 player. But my dad was coaching at a high school where the best player in the state was getting recruited by all these schools as well. So it kind of opened up a lot of doors for me.
Yeah, I was wondering how they were talking so much to your dad because back in the day, the rules is that they couldn't talk to you into your senior year, but because your dad was a coach,
Yeah.
those coaches had access to your dad, and it's like, by the way, how's Matt doing?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. So he was an assistant coach for
Yeah.
the player was Jared Bayless. So he went to U of A, Arizona, and ended up playing in the NBA. So we were there together, and we would have open gyms. I would practice with them all the time as a high schooler because my dad was there. So all these college coaches would come in the gym, and they'd see me too.
Yeah.
So I was offered by legendary coach Lute Olson going into my 8th grade year, like 7th grade. I already had offers like getting from Louisville, all the biggest, which is insane. Like now, just players don't get recruited at all at that in middle school,
Yeah.
which makes sense. I mean, it honestly makes
Yeah.
more sense now than it did then. But yeah, I was getting like heavily recruited in middle school.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
my
that's a very unique situation.
yeah, so now it's so different, and it really sped up my process, and that's probably why I graduated even earlier because I was getting recruited for it felt like a while by that point, but it was really because of Jared
Yeah,
and my dad.
You know, a lot of our listeners are parents and high school and coaches. And the comment you made, how the UCLA coach was talking to your dad, and basically you sort of took your dad's advice and went to UCLA, but it wasn't necessarily you who built that relationship with the coach. It was through your dad. Well, that's kind of the way it sounded to me. And then when you get there, it's not, you're the one there, not your dad.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And that happens. That happens for us in tennis, and where parents believe it's the right fit, and then it's the athlete that's going to be there, and if you don't build that relationship with the athlete, it may not be the best fit for either, and it's not good for anybody. It turned out great for you. You go to BYU, and your record was just broken recently.
Yeah.
15-year-old record. You had the highest scoring game, 30 points, I believe. 30 points. You scored 30 points as a freshman. And that at BYU, that record was there for 15 years until this year. I'm sorry.
No, I'm pumped about it because I believe the guy who broke it, he's unbelievable. AJ Dybantsa could be the #1 pick. I got to watch him doing the TC radio in person. He's the real deal. He's unbelievable.
And you got to go back to BYU, and didn't they honor you?
Yeah, they recognized me.
That's pretty cool.
It was cool. It was not being there for 10 years. Going back and just seeing it, being around so many people that are still there, that I was around, for 3 years was cool. It was a unique experience to be able to do that wearing TCU stuff, not like being the opponent for my return there it was cool. I mean, it was a great situation.
Yeah. So for you listeners to know, Matt ended up at TCU as a grad assistant in was it 2019?
Yeah.
2019. Yeah. That's where he met my sister because she was a grad assistant there too. And then, you guys got married, left, came back, and now you're back with men's basketball in the radio show. How is that, now that you're close to the players, traveling with the team? So you've been I think 3 different eras of basketball in your life, right? College basketball, as a player, as a college athlete, as a grad assistant and now in the radio show. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I got into coaching at TCU because Coach Dixon recruited me when he was at Pitt after I was leaving BYU and ended up at Marquette. But I really did that for the most part because I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing overseas 10 months and really just wanted to start my life in America. And I figured I know a lot about basketball. So that was the natural step for me to do. So although I loved my time at TCU as a GA, most of it was getting to know my future wife, your sister. Like that was my main priority, even though, you're doing all the things as a GA, but I kind of realized in that time the coaching life was going to be a tough one, and my priorities kind of changed during that time. As a player, it was awesome, and now as a radio, I love it. It's so fun. Like I get to watch these amazing players in the Big 12, and I get to watch from a different lens the TCU team, who I'm such a fan.
You don't have to go do class checks.
No class checks. Like the GA position, that's really when you find out if you want to do that or not, because it's grueling. Like it's tough. It's not easy to be a GA. And I just wasn't tough enough, wasn't cut out for it.
You were looking at the beach volleyball girls.
Yeah. And I made the right choice.
Yeah.
For myself, I made the right choice. So
it was a long line. There were a lot of guys that were interested in Mandy, and on day one that she graduated. So that was a pure coincidence. I don't think you realized that as a GA, you couldn't date a student athlete.
Oh, yeah. I said GA, no.
And by coincidence, literally the first day that she had graduated.
Oh, she didn't graduate.
Well, she became a GA. She became a GA herself.
More a student athlete, yeah.
Pure coincidence. That is the day you asked her out, not knowing that was the first legal day that you could ask her out.
Yeah, I broke a lot of hearts on that day for other.
Not on the women's side, on the men's side.
On the men's side, a lot of men's hearts.
Yeah.
Which
I'm kidding. I'm sure there was a few girls that were.
No,
you don't know about.
No, but yeah. That was a funny story too, but that's been a huge blessing, and how it works out. It's just funny how God puts those things in place, and it's been awesome. Mandy and I have gone different places, done different things, and now we're back in Fort Worth, and we're so happy to be around you guys, and being able to be around TCU is awesome. It's such a great family.
It is. Community
at TCU that people don't really realize. Unless you've been a part of it, because everyone says that, but TCU really does. I've been a lot of places, and TCU really has something special with the way that the community is in Fort Worth and the way that TCU is. I feel like it's the team I root for the most out of anyone, just because my time here has been so special. So it's a cool place. It's been awesome to be back.
Yeah, go Frogs.
And then Matt, you got to coach high school basketball in Southern California, near San Diego. How many years did you do that for?
I did that for 2.
How was that? How was that experience? We're talking to parents a lot in our podcast or listening right now. You were right in the thick of it. You had a competitive basketball private school.
Yeah, private
program,
school.
And dealing with parents, dealing with high school kids being with the dream of playing basketball one day, and against players that probably go and play Division I or any kind of college basketball. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah, that was a unique experience because I actually got there. Funny enough, I was trying to get back into college or pro, did a couple years doing high-end custom home building as a superintendent for my family's company, and wanted to get back into coaching, and got there through TCU again, through a guy I had coached named Owen Ashiris, who he was living in San Diego. He was helping as an assistant coach at this program.
And Owen is dating Megan's sister now.
Oh, yeah, Megan Murray.
Yeah, Kelly Murray. Kelly Murray's sister.
Wow.
I'm like, yeah,
so Owen, we kept in touch because he was just such a great guy. He was a walk-on that got to play at TCU, which people who don't know, that's just so tough, especially in the Big 12. And just such a hard worker. loved him and being around him. So we had conversations. He just kind of asked, "Are you interested?" And I really never thought I would coach high school. My dad coached high school for 25 years, but I never really thought about it. But being a head coach was something that was intriguing to me because I was like, this is, I'll get to make all the decisions, run all the things the way I wanted to do it. The kids were amazing. At Santa Fe Christian in particular, like the kids were, the way they just like took to coaching and were able to just give their all. Because I think you can get in situations with kids where the culture, the coach before me had built such a great culture that I had walked into a pretty easy situation where they had already been through good coaching before, and the standards were high. And for me, I just wanted to continue that. So I really enjoyed practice in that part of it and getting to teach kids the game. The games I was miserable every time I thought we were going to lose, even though we had a really good team. Like I just was like, we're going to lose. Like to every team, you're thinking, you guys know, you bring it home with you. Like you're just like, man, this is, you're living and dying by every game. So that was a lot, especially on Mandy.
Your schedule is
tough, hard. But also you're so absorbed mentally by the season. So she sees you and you're just like constantly thinking about ways that you can make your team better. So that was tough. That was a tough part, and something I honestly don't miss a lot of how absorbed you are by that. But overall, it was just such a good community there as well that it was a good.
When you talk about a good culture, describe that culture of that team? You said the coach before you did a great job, and you walked into a good situation. Could you describe it?
Yeah, I was thinking a lot about this recently because I think the environment I'm in now has built such a good culture in Higginbotham and Rusty Reed. And I thought about it, and I think what makes great cultures is, and Coach Dixon talks about this a lot, just people who want to serve.
True.
Like everyone's there to serve the program. It's not for yourself. Everyone's there to just give everything that they can. So I think that all the kids in that program, they just wanted to give everything they had to be a part of this legacy that was kind of built in this program. And the upperclassmen were there to serve the underclassmen. They weren't like, it wasn't that you got to be an upperclassman and now it was like your time. You know, they wanted to teach the younger kids like what the program was about. And I see that at my company now. Like if you ask someone for help, they're right there to serve people. And Rusty Reed, he's like that. He's just always wanting to serve anyone he can at all times in the community, just in anything. So I think that's culturally, I think just people who are there to serve the greater good of what they're a part of. That's what I think a great culture is.
Yeah, no, I love that. And, you know, like we wanted to have you here for a long time because all the stages that you've been in sports, right? What are some characteristics of like athletes, like at any stage, right? Like high school, college, pro, that you think like, okay, this kid is gonna make it? Like, no, it doesn't mean like they're gonna make it only like in sports, but in the professional life, like what are some of the characteristics or traits?
Yeah.
Besides serving, you already said serving, but
no, that one's kind of tough because I think everyone does it differently. But I think that there's two things that figure it out aspect to
problem
it.
solve.
Yeah, like the problem solving, like you're gonna come up against roadblocks, whether you're the best player or you're like just trying to get in the rotation. You're gonna come into something where you're like, I just got to figure it out. But then I think there's that other aspect of like the screw you aspect. Like you can only take so much coaching.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that you have to be like, I'm also like that confidence of like, I got this.
Yeah.
Like there's both. It's a you have to be able to take that coaching to help you figure it out, but also that confidence of like, I'm good enough to accomplish this. So I think that's what I see. Like the AJ Dybantsa is a perfect example. I saw him and I'm like, the reason why he's going to be great, he truly believes he's going to be the best player in the world. Yeah. And you can see it just by the way he walks and interacts. So I think that's part of it.
And he backs it up, right?
Yeah.
He's scoring all the time, which to me, basketball, if you can get the ball in the hoop, that's a good trait. That's a basketball player.
Yeah.
It's like in tennis, you put the ball in the court, you're a good tennis player.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen different players walk around with like different moxie. And Darren Peterson, who's also projected to be the #1 pick, he has a moxie about him too. But this kid, he just walks with confidence. And that sounds stupid, but there's something about that. Yeah. He wants to stand out. Sometimes that can be a bad thing, but that's that kind of like, screw you.
Yeah, self-belief.
I'm saying screw you.
Yeah, like
that's
be a dog.
Not the best
like
way
you
to
go
say
and
it,
just
that dog mentality.
That's what you guys say in your program. So I would say, like, if I would reframe what you say, is 1, don't be the victim.
Yeah.
Right. And 2, be a dog.
It's the dog mentality of
you have
like
to be hungry.
Yeah, you're hungry for sure, and also to take coaching though. And have people help you figure it out, because you're going to come up against it like no matter what you do. So you definitely have to have that humility. Yeah. And that's a tough balance to have that. So I think that's I love it. The best can do that and balance that out, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Most, I would say, in the tennis world, have been lucky enough to be around a lot of top players, whether at TCU or when I was a national coach, and got to be around the best in the world. There's definitely a healthy stubbornness to all top players, that especially in a sport like tennis, which at the end of the day, you're out there on your own. There is no substitutions. You got to get it done. You got to figure out yourself. So yes, Cameron Norrie was very stubborn. He believed in what he believed, and it was us as coaches that had to sort of respect that and work with that. When I see a player that says yes to everything, it scares me that on game day, in the moment, he's going to be looking at us like, what do I do? And that's not a good thing. Yeah. It's a great point. Not that I want my guys questioning everything we say, but yeah, there is, it's good to believe in what you believe and be a little bit stubborn, not be the absolute just, yes, coach, yes, coach, yes, coach, all the time. You want to argue a little bit.
There's a scale to it. What that perfect balance is, I think, depends on the guy. But yeah, there's a scale to it where you have to have both. Otherwise, you're going to like go up in flames.
You know, I know I have a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old son. And when you go like this, all I can think of is a stupid 6'7".
This is the Italian, and I talk with my hands.
Yeah.
Like, don't say 6'7".
And then talking about that, you're talking about Italy, and you play in France too. What's the difference, like basketball culture there?
Yeah. France, I was on a really good team, which makes I was more mature too. That was my last year, was in France. And like, I have really good relationships with my teammates that were in France because we won. But I loved my time in Italy. I was there for 2 years, and the culture there. And
well, you have Italian blood.
Yeah, Italian passport. Yeah, exactly. So that was cool.
Mario Carlino.
They treated me as a local, and it was fun. That was always fun. Like you felt like you're home as an Italian, like living there, and it's just a cool experience. So I loved living there. France was great too because we won. I actually bookend my career because I started in France and I ended in France. Um, and it's just amazing the two differences between that kid who showed up in France to start his professional career, even though it wasn't long, only played 4 years, and the guy who left France with just a totally different perspective in 4 years, how that goes too. But yeah, it was a blessing. I loved my time over there. There's a lot of downtime, just by yourself, in
Yeah.
overseas basketball.
Tell us about that growth of the young men in the beginning versus the one that came back.
Yeah, I mean, I was more or less an idiot, college kid, go overseas. Um, you think it's going to be great because you're a pro, but you realize real quick that the amenities that you have in college, at
You're
universities,
pretty spoiled.
you are spoiled. And now you have to be an adult, and your coach is wondering why you're eating at McDonald's every meal. It's because you don't even know how to cook because you had like training table and all these things. You're like, dude, I don't even know how to live. Like, all I've done is basketball, and people have served me at class. You've just been, especially in basketball at BYU and Marquette, you're just served hand and foot. So you're so spoiled. You don't understand anything. You want to be served rather than serving. And yeah, I actually left because I was so arrogant. And this is the balance piece. I feel like I didn't have a good balance of getting coached and listening to people. I was way too much on the spectrum of like the dog. So I left because I tried to go to the NBA G League my rookie year and ended up getting hurt. But that's kind of where it all switched because my dream my whole life was to play in the NBA. Got to the G League. It's a brutal experience. Like, no one cares if you win or lose. Talk about not serving. Like, everyone's just out for themselves trying to make it to the NBA. I was like, man, I don't want to do this. So at that point, I was like, I'm going to play overseas because that's more how I know and love the game rather than the NBA. Plus, I didn't play very well. So I was like, my kind of dream is shot, which changed my perspective. But then overseas, you have so much time. I cracked open the Bible for the first time. My faith began to grow a lot, which changed everything in terms of my perspective on life. Was going to just beautiful empty churches in Italy and France, not to go to church, but just to be in like solitude there. So a lot of downtime, a lot of just personal growth in that journey playing professionally. So that's probably why.
And you were manifesting and praying for, your perfect family and sister-in-law that you have here.
Exactly. Well, I was lonely. I was ready to settle down. You're over there 10 months. You're lonely. It's a very lonely existence over there.
I was going to ask you about your faith, because I know that you live a faithful life or close. Tell us about that. How has that helped you? And it's Christian, is that right? Christianity?
Yeah. I want to point something out before you start because, when you were dating Mandy and you were a GA at TCU, you were doing this Zooms, from our apartment to like the chapel, you call it, right?
Yeah.
With the team. And that was pretty cool, because he planned his sessions and he was just mentoring and this group of guys, which I think it was really cool.
Yeah, I got to do Chauncey, FCA and Coleman. It was awesome, but when I got back from over there, they gave me the opportunity to do the like what would we call them, chapels before games. So I would do that at TCU, and that was probably my favorite part of being a GA. I was able to do those. But to go back to like how the faith piece, when you have so much time and limited distractions, God was just tugging on my heart while I was over there, and really it was just opening up the Bible for the first time for me and reading it. And I had led such a sinful life, which I still do. We all are sinners, and just wasn't happy with where I was and my priorities of, basketball was everything, and changing that perspective of like, there's no way this can be everything, because if this is everything, there's just no point to all of this. So having that time to like crack open the Bible, pray, it was awesome, but at the same time, it's still lonely over there. But that's where like my faith journey, because I grew up Catholic, going to Catholic school. So I went to church once a week, but really just never had that relationship with Jesus, and never knew, even though I was a sinner, how much he loved me and died on the cross for me. So just a short snippet of that. That's kind of how that came about.
I can see why you didn't approve of me when I first showed up trying to date Majo.
You were just like cracking jokes, inappropriate jokes.
Yeah, your jokes are
recently divorced.
No,
I was.
Yeah, but I think it was more so. First off, taken out of context, because it wasn't that I've just always been protective of people around me, and I was just like, okay, I don't know about this guy. He tells these off-color jokes. What's he thinking? And we had spent time, but most of it was just like drinking wine together.
Yeah.
And
playing games.
Playing more games.
Yeah, the competitive side.
And since then, we've had like way more deep conversations and just really gotten to know each other more. So I think it's more just the fear of like not knowing the person.
Yeah. Now you guys get along so well that, when my dad was giving a Christmas speech,
oh man,
you guys were.
That was bad, but true.
So that was your fault, by the way. You weren't supposed to laugh that much.
You were not supposed to say. Guys, yeah, this is for another.
For our listeners, I was translating what Majo's dad. He was giving a very heartfelt speech at dinner
in Spanish.
At the dinner table at Christmas Eve, Christmas night. And I was translating to Matt, and I sort of was I was not translating exactly what he was saying. I was making up stuff. And Matt started laughing. And right in the middle of the speech, when he's talking about us, we could not stop laughing and had to leave the table. And her dad didn't know what was going on.
Like 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bad.
But I couldn't stop laughing.
No, it was bad. It was like in school when you aren't supposed to laugh, so then it becomes even funnier.
Yes.
And you're like, gosh, this is not good.
Yeah.
I know. We're gonna have to make up for that for a long time.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah, my dad was a little hurt, but
I know.
All good. He loves you guys.
Yeah.
He loves you guys.
Yes.
He was saying like how grateful he was for both of you.
Yeah, during that moment, it's like, geez.
There's a lot, Matt. We've talked about a lot. Parenting, high school, being recruited, the whole transferring, learning those lessons, which each step seems like every stage that you have gone through the struggle, through the challenges, you come a stronger, more prepared, more mature man on the other side of things. Would you say that's been the case?
Yeah, I feel like perspective of that, after you come out, you can kind of realize some of the things that happened during that period of time, reflect on them and get better from them. I try to do that. So yeah, it's definitely been that for me in all those areas that we've touched on.
Yeah.
And now you're with Higginbotham. I love how you compare the culture at Higginbotham, insurance, huge company, huge TCU. Rusty Reed is as big of a frog as there is. How you made some parallels between that culture and what a good sports culture would be, a good team culture. I love to hear that. 'Cause obviously, we love Rusty and Higginbotham. It doesn't surprise me at all. They're an extremely successful company and also a very competitive world. I'm sure your competitiveness is sort of a need in that world, correct?
Yeah, that's been really fun for me. I never thought I'd be getting into insurance. Never was on my bingo card, working a career in insurance. But since I've been in it, that's all it is. You know, my job is to help serve people the best I can in something that everyone needs,
Yeah.
which is cool too. Like everyone has insurance, they need insurance. So to be able to be someone that can guide them through that and just serve them in that way is a really cool thing for me to do. And I love it.
So if I own a business and I have employees, I would need to talk to you to get insurance for my company, correct? Is that right?
Yeah, so
Understand it correctly?
that's a separate section of our employee benefits. So what I'm doing now is I'm working with a lot of high net worth clients and private clients, and also in the sports and entertainment. So what you
Yeah.
think of insurance about your home, auto, umbrella policies, and I'm helping those people protect what they've worked so hard for, which is interesting. That's been an interesting thing, but it's been fun.
So you now are going back, in the insurance world to athletics again.
Yeah.
Some sort of that. And then I want you to talk about that too in a minute, but also like the importance of networking while you're a student athlete. I think we had this conversations that when you were playing basketball, you was like, man, you have all this network that you can build and create like amazing relationships for when you are, working
Yeah.
in insurance or whatever as a
Well,
professional.
I pretty much blew it there.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much opportunity as an athlete. These people that think you're so cool playing and you're just, there's you have to serve them too. Like you have to give, it can't just be a take in networking. You have to offer something.
Not only get the NIL money, right? You have to
Yeah,
give back.
yeah, there's something that you have to give back, and that's what I've learned most about networking is you have to offer something in return if you want something. So I think that would be my biggest thing for athletes is serve these people and these boosters who are think that you're awesome at the time, because at some point you're not going to be so cool anymore. You're going to be selling insurance like me. That's not that cool. People don't think that's cool. So during that time, do what you can to serve them. Give them, you get so much gear, like maybe give them some gear. I don't know if that's even legal, but just anything. Like they'll appreciate that so much, and it'll be tenfold on the return. But college athletics is, if you're not doing that, you're missing the boat for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to create win-wins
Yeah.
on any relationship, right? You and Mandy,
Yeah.
you create win-wins. You give and receive. Otherwise, that relationship is not sustainable.
Yeah.
One of them is going to break. The one that's just been giving and not receiving anything. So that's a great point. Great point to remind our guys. Yes, that's we can do a whole another podcast on gratitude and being good to other people and the way you show up on a daily basis. That could be a whole another podcast. Well, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Matt, I'm glad that you were here with us, and I'm glad that you like me more now that you gotten to know me better. That would be bad if you would like me when you didn't know me,
Opposite. Yeah.
and then you don't like me once you get to know me. That would hurt.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
hurt a lot.
Yeah. No, we're so happy to have you, and we love you too.
Yeah. I love you guys too. I'm happy that we got to do
Yeah.
it.
And then, for this new thing you're doing with insurance and athletes, like because we have a good audience of athletes, how can they, know a little bit more about what you're doing, or, you can share here. And
Yeah. I mean, it's just, reaching out, really. I mean, everyone needs it. I've helped athletes at TCU already because I think the education piece when you're young, not all athletes at TCU will need that, but these guys in certain areas, basketball, football, they're making a ton of money, and what you do with it, you need to protect it, whether it's buying a home or buying a car or just understanding that piece. And you'd be surprised, even as they go up the ladder, professional athletes or high net worth individuals that, you think have it all together, adulting and just figuring out that piece of everything. Like you really, it's same as sports. You need an expert in the room to help you, get through that. So I would say adulting's hard. Find experts that know more than you, whether it's your taxes or, all these things,
Yeah.
financial planning, and really vet them too to make sure they're there to help you learn and not just say like, hey, I'll take care of that, because that's when you get in rough situations when you don't know what's going on. So
Yeah.
what I like to do is really kind of educate during that process rather than just say, don't even worry about this. I've got you, because that's when you get in shady deals.
So you're
Yeah.
you're teaching them how to fish, not just fishing for them.
Yeah,
So
a
they
little
can
bit.
do it. Yeah.
For sure, because you can go online and pull a quote, but fine print, reading the fine print, understanding what that means, I think that's an important piece to it, and they'll grow from that.
That just brings anxiety when you talk about the fine print.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, Matt. Anything else you want to tell our listeners out there, our parents, coaches, athletes?
I don't have that much. I will say, go support the tennis matches.
Thank you.
Go support all these TCU. If any TCU students are listening, like that's another thing aside from being an athlete and the community at TCU. You guys don't have anything better to do. Go to the games, go
Yeah.
support. Like that's something that you'll remember. I remember going to the BYU football games, loving it. Like I just think as a student, I want to see more students show up for the athletes. That's something that there's a lot to do in Fort Worth, but I don't think there's anything better to do than to go to TCU games. So that's definitely
Well, it's
something.
a serving piece, right?
Yeah.
It's a serving. As a student, you serve the overall university. As a coach, myself, staff, we serve the overall athletic department. We serve the overall university. We serve
The
all the community, Fort Worth, and on and on. And I think that's everybody has a mentality. It just everybody grows and
Yeah.
makes it better. So I love that. That's what I learned from today is that the word to serve, the a bigger entity than just yourself. For you listeners out there, what is the one thing? Think about the one thing that came up today talking to Matt that clicked in your head, and how are you gonna apply that this week? That's what we're here. We just want to serve and have fun and tell a few kind of fun stories, but at the same time all grow together. Majo?
Yeah. So thanks for listening.
Yeah, from the courts.
To the sand, this is D1 Coach's Spot. See you in the next set. Remember to share, subscribe, and like. Go Frogs.
Go Frogs. Thank you, Matt.